Hey, everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're going to start right away with Minnesota's Cheryl Reeve, and Cheryl will be joined momentarily by Nafisa Collier and Kayla McBride. If you would, please use the raised hand function. We're going to start right away with questions for Cheryl. Cheryl, we're going to start you with Kent. Kent, you're up, and Jonathan, you're next. Kent, go ahead.
Hello, Coach. Kent Elmwood here from Minneapolis. The other day, after that Lynx fan had streamed your preseason game and gotten 2 million hits, you talked about how important it was to turn this moment into a movement. I was wondering if you could kind of define what you mean by what this moment is in terms of where the interest is at and what it'll take to become a movement.
Well, I think, as I expressed before, the biggest messaging I think is that it's not business as usual anymore, and this has been brewing for a while, right? And then I think the accelerated nature of popular players, be it on social media or be it basketball players, of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, many others from this draft class that have sort of put us in this space maybe quicker than what we thought we would get to. We've been moving. We've been on a wave, but this is like a bit more of a tsunami, if you will. And I think just in terms of thinking about things, we just if you are business as usual, if you think that the status quo is going to work, you're going to miss out on opportunities to capitalize from a business standpoint. And it's not at the league, it's not at any one franchise, it's as a whole in women's sports. And I think having more of a forward-thinking mindset, being innovative, I think those sorts of things. That time is now. If you truly want to capitalize on, we've had moments in a league, but this is clearly a movement. And if you think it's not, you're going to get left behind.
A quick follow-up. There's some talk that at least there are talks going on about trying to accelerate the installment of charter flying. I know you probably don't have really any updates on that, but if it were, I mean, do you think it's time now? I mean, how do you feel about that as an option today or this year?
Yeah, that's a player question because, as you know, we're not permitted to talk about collectively bargained issues at coach level or executive level, but certainly Kayla and Fee, who just joined, could answer that. So I don't know if they heard the question. If you want to repeat that, Ken.
Just the talk that there is some negotiations going on to perhaps even bring charter travel into the league this year. It being an Olympic year, the kind of compacted schedule on either side of it, how big would that be for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be really big. It's something we've been asking for years. And I think it's something that can't be ignored anymore, especially, there's a lot of heat on the league. So I think that's always how it goes. The more heat you put on, especially from the outside, like the more things change, the quicker. So if that would happen this year, excellent. It's something we've been fighting for a long time. So I think it's a long time coming.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. We're going to turn next to Jonathan. Jonathan, you're going to be followed by Mike V. Jonathan.
Thank you, Ron. Hi, Cheryl. Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer here.
Hi,
You were
Jonathan.
talking. You were talking a moment ago about the acceleration of things that this rookie class has helped to provide of late, and I wonder if you could think back even just like March 1st. Never mind, the last couple of weeks, but even before the NCAA tournament, we knew what the rookie class was going to be for the most part. But would you have thought even as recently as March 1st that it was going to go quite like this? Thanks.
Yeah. Uh, Simply put, yeah. The year before March 1, we saw this build, this very obvious, I guess, lead into what would be last college season. That just that anybody that was watching and watched the LSU Iowa championship game, the Final Four in Dallas that I was at, anyone that was in that felt that. And so, yes, we saw it coming. We knew the time was now, much like we've seen in the NBA with Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. I mean, there's watershed moments for leagues, and this very clearly, obviously, is that for us.
All right, thanks, Jonathan. We're going to turn to Mike Vopel. Mike, you're going to be followed by Nathan. Mike.
Thanks. Coach Reeve, if I could ask you this, and then Nafisa, if you could maybe follow. Coaches, you feel like this first month of the season is going to impact the Olympic team selection, or do you feel like it's fairly set? And my second part of that is, how big a factor do you think it was for Nafisa to already have an Olympics under her belt? And if Nafisa, you could talk about that too.
Yeah, I can talk about Fee and the experience with her over in Tokyo, and then the Olympic qualifying tournament. I think the evolution, Fee's first time as an Olympian, like most star players that experience the Olympics for the first time, she watched a lot. She didn't get a chance to be on the court. But people don't realize that happens to the greatest of players. And Sophia and I talked about that, even though it didn't feel very good, that, there were many before her that were even perhaps cut from the team that didn't get a chance to, play when they were ready. And so I think just seeing Fee go from that moment, that was in 2021. Here we are in 2024, Olympic qualifying tournament in Belgium. Fee's, catapulted herself into the MVP conversation, and they talked about it was a 3-player race. It was, Fee was in that race, and so to be the level of play that she experienced in 2023 and carried that into the Olympics, for me that was really gratifying, and being a part of the national team with Fee.
For me, I wasn't upset about not playing in the last Olympics. I would have been happy to get people's water. I was just happy to be there. I knew that, I was one of the last people selected to the team, and I knew how young I was. So I used it as a learning opportunity where I could just see these great players playing, and I still got to practice with them, and I got in the game a little bit, but it was really just such an amazing experience for me. I think the mindset is a little bit different from this one. Obviously, I hope I have a bigger role, and it was really fun in Belgium. But anytime you get together with USA, especially like with Cheryl as the coach, it's so fun and such an honor to wear USA across your chest. So I'm just really excited for what the summer brings.
All right, thanks. We're going to turn to Nathan, and you're followed by Teresa and then Lindsay. Nathan, go ahead.
Thank you. This is Nitha Ramachandra from the NR Media. This is a question for all three of you ladies. What's it like being back on the court, finally playing preseason games as the season is upon for you guys? And also, what most excites you about the roster this year? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. The energy has been awesome. Obviously, we have a lot of new faces in our training camp this year, but the energy, like I think Coach was talking about today, how you come into training camp is really defining for what lies ahead in the season. And I think as soon as I walked in the building, you could just feel the energy top to bottom. And, that's exciting as people who've been here before, played for Coach, just having people eager and excited to be on the court together makes everything else easier. So we're really excited and can't wait to get this thing going.
Yeah, I think, like Max said, the biggest word I feel is excitement. The energy that we brought to every single day, I think, is the highest since I've been on the Lynx. Just every single day, the competitiveness and the willingness to get better has been the top, I think, since I've been here. Just every day, people coming in willing to work, willing to get better. So that's something we really want to keep throughout the season. And like Mac and Coach said, that is set and defined in training camp. So if we stay like this, I have really high hopes. I think we have a lot of talent this year, a lot of great, young, energetic new faces. So to see us develop and just build that chemistry a little bit more as the season goes on, I think we're going to be definitely a team to watch.
And I'm excited to blow out of, these power rankings that we saw recently released that have us like 9th. We're excited about that. And we'll take that on. That's a personal affront. We will take that on, and we're excited to make sure that that's not the case.
All right, we're going to turn to Teresa. Teresa will be followed by Lindsay and then Ebony. Teresa.
This is for Nafisa and Kayla. The commissioner said a little while ago that the NBA does plan to fully fund charter travel for the season, not just back-to-backs, not just the playoffs, as soon as they can get the planes in place. How nice is it to hear that? And it sounds like they're trying to seize this moment as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to hear that. It's something, like I said, we've been fighting for so long. Yeah, I mean, it just feels like finally.
Yeah. It's like a breath of fresh air, just knowing that you'll be able to get on the plane and have your proper recovery to be able to play in the next game, especially with it being an Olympic year. Obviously, we want it every year, but especially this year, when you have the games and rotation that we're going to be playing that, for sure. I mean, it means a lot.
And it's coming from a point of safety. As the names get bigger and bigger, the stardom grows, the fandom grows. You have people who, I mean, we just saw the video of Caitlin, like she has bodyguards surrounding her at the airport. It becomes safety. BG last year, all these players and these faces are becoming so popular that it really is about that as much as it's about recovery.
All right, thanks. We're going to turn to Lindsay, going to be followed by Ebony and Lucas. Lindsay.
Hey ladies, V and Kayla, I have a follow-up on that too, on the charters. So the last few years, a lot of W players have spoken out really honestly about how they often feel that the league can push them to the margins, particularly for Black women, who are like the foundation of this league. It's great now that there are going to be charters, but I'm wondering, is it also frustrating that like there's a lot of talk that it's happening because of Caitlyn and Caitlyn's popularity, but BG's safety was an issue last year, like that wasn't enough to push the league to do it then. And how do you kind of balance making sure that like, hey, you're grateful and you want to say that, but also making sure that the women of color of this league, again, who are the foundation, are always being valued and heard?
I think it is a tough balance because you do want to be appreciative of where you come. But Cheryl said this in another interview. We are growing so much faster than we keep getting compared to the NBA. Like we're farther along than the NBA was. We have so much more stuff, like the social media, the fandom, the growth of the game is happening so much faster. You can no longer compare it to where the NBA was at this point in their whatever career. And so it is a little bit frustrating, but I feel like that's how everything is, the government, everything. Unless you put a spotlight on things and force their hand, that's why it's so important that we stick together and have these united fronts, that you put pressure on things like this because it costs money. They're a business at the end of the day. And so you have to be able to apply that kind of pressure. I mean, all boats rise. Like I'm happy that something catapulted this change. So, I mean, in that sense, I'm happy that we got to this point, but it is like a little bit disappointing that it took so long to get here. Understandable, like from the business side, but like I said, can't really compare it to where we were, which is what keeps happening.
All right, thanks. Ebony, you're up. Lucas, and then Willie next. Ebony.
How you doing, ladies? I hope your day's going well. It's Ebony, do my swim morning brew sports. I just wanted to ask you, with the league growing the way it is, as we were talking about, you're now getting charter flights and things of that nature. What do you have? And there's a lot of new fans coming in that might not know the history so much of the WNBA. What would you tell these new fans about the Lynx and what to expect from your team or your game? Because there are a lot of new fans coming up.
Yeah.
Get to a game because I think that the energy and the skill level, the fans, our fans already, our energy that we have in our building. We've been doing this. Yeah, we've been doing this. So I think for us, I think just get to a game and see us live in person, because when you're actually, you're watching on TV, you're scrolling, whatever. It's not the same as actually being in there and feeling the energy from our fans, our building, and, our team, our group. So I think just getting out and actually being involved is the best way to get to know us.
And don't sleep on us. Also, like for the past 6 years, they put us like 6 or below, lower, usually way lower than 6 in the rankings, and we surpass every single year. So how many times is that going to have to happen before we get?
Yeah, vocal. How many more times?
Come on, vocal. Why keep counting us out?
All right, Lucas, then Willie. Lucas, you're up.
Hi, thank you. You have a lot of EuroLeague standouts on your roster, right? Because you have Dorka, Bridget, Cecilia, Olivia. I think I'm missing 2 other players as well, right? So obviously I'm talking about Kayla and Nafisa, right? So how do you think the EuroLeague experience will translate into your WNBA success? And will it translate?
I guess coach or us.
They're asking, you guys play, and so you just play in both leagues.
I mean, all 3 of you, really.
I think as far as us building that chemistry even more, I think was really good. In my opinion, the game is really different, like overseas in the W, but in the sense of getting better where you can get more reps, you can try new things, you get that experience with your players. I think that is great. But overall, I think the game is actually a lot different. So I don't know how translatable that part is, but it was great to play with Mac and continue to build upon the chemistry that we already have.
All right. Willie, you're up, followed by Chico. Willie.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies. K-Mac, how are you? Always good to see you. It's been about 4 years since your essay on the Tribune, and since then you've been very vocal and somewhat of a spokesperson for mental health. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I'm just curious. And a two-parter is, one is, how are you doing? How's the progress been? And sort of what's your message every year coming into the season to sort of remind everybody how important it is to be open about their mental health?
Yeah, so I actually joined two new groups. I'm doing well, by the way. It's good to see you too. But I joined two new groups as a mentor, Head in the Game and Voice in Sports. So I'm really excited about that to start my mentorship. But as it being Mental Health Awareness Month, it's good to check in with yourself. Obviously, it's a new season. I just finished the season, but I'm really excited. I'm in a good place, and I think that along this journey since I wrote that essay, there's been so many ups and downs. But finding a home here, figuring out my things in Fenner with my family, just finding my way has been really great for me, especially the end of last season here. I think I really hit a stride of knowing exactly who I am and finding my groove. So I've been really fortunate for the people in my circle, people here in Minnie, my family. They've been great. So I'm just really excited and going in this season with a lot of peace, a lot of energy, a lot of feistiness, aggression as a competitor, but just a lot of peace as well. So I'm excited.
All right. Thank you. And you know how much I appreciated that first piece. So looking forward to seeing you in Vegas.
I appreciate it.
All right, Willie, thanks. Chico, you're up, and you're going to be followed by Brad.
Thanks, Ron. My question is for Kayla. You played alongside Skylar Diggins-Smith at Notre Dame for 3 years. How did having a natural point guard like her kind of make the game easier for you? And how do you think that's going to help another former teammate of yours this year in Jewel Lloyd?
I mean, yeah, we all played together. I played with Sky for 3 years. So, I think playing with Sky, the biggest thing that I get from her is just her competitiveness and her willing to compete on every single play. Obviously, we were pretty young back then. I think I was 17, 18, 19. So it feels like a long time ago. But I think the competitiveness and just the ability to never take any possessions off and continue to learn, obviously, between her and Coach McGraw, I think that was where it kind of really got instilled in me to be, moving into my pro career. So I have to give Sky a lot of credit for that, for sure, pushing me day in and day out.
All right, thanks. Brad, you're up.
Hi, ladies. Brad Lake, WBB Nation, WNBA Swish. This question is for Nafisa. You and Courtney combined for 34 points in the first preseason game. Can you speak to how your two's chemistry has been building and what these building blocks, you, her, and everyone else, is going to be for the foundation for the season?
Yeah, it's been really fun to play with Courtney. The energy, she's one of the people I was talking about. The energy she brings every day is so high. So that's been really fun. And then also to play with such like a good player, she's really elite in the pick and roll. I think we're building our chemistry on that as well. But the fact that she's like so lethal from the mid range is really fun to see. And so it was great during the game. And I'm really excited to continue to build upon that during the year, because I think like when we click, it's like when it's second nature, it's going to be really special.
All right, thanks, everybody. We have time for one more question, and we're going to go to Sean. Sean, you're up.
Sean Schultz, WNBA Swish. The question's for Coach. Just a general, how have you felt about Alyssa Peely's development so far, and do you see her progressing pretty well?
I think she's had a typical first week of being a rookie in the WNBA after college, and I don't know if you can hear these guys chuckling, but I'm reminded I wasn't around for K-Mac's rookie season, but I was around for Nafisa's, and Alyssa's going through those same sort of moments that you have some great moments and you have relief because you had, you felt like yourself, and you have other moments where you feel like you've never played basketball before. And so she's experiencing those, all those emotions. But in terms of her development, it's obviously very early. It's only been a week, and we get ready to play a second preseason game tomorrow. I'm quite confident she's a really good basketball player, and her trajectory will continue upward.
All right, Cheryl, Nafisa, and Kayla, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck this week. Good luck all season. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, to our media, stay with us. We're going to be joined almost immediately by the Las Vegas Aces, and we're going to bring in Coach Becky Hammond, Chelsea Gray.